So I'm here with Tom Abrams. Tom, how did you learn to play guitar?
How did I learn to play guitar? I was 10 years old. I passed my 11 plus with 99% and got different bits of money from my family because they couldn't believe it happened. And with that money, I went to Argos to buy some DJ decks because I love Limp Bizkit. And my dad was there and he was like, you should probably get a real instrument. So I bought a guitar. I was gutted. I remember bringing this guitar home thinking, I don't want a guitar, I wanted to be a DJ. And then the guy next door was in the army and he knew a few licks and he showed me it. And I was like, oh, I quite like that. And at the same point in my life, my sister, who's severely disabled, started having music therapy sessions and my dad filmed it. And the two experiences collided and I was like, actually, what I really want to do is that. I want to use music as communication.
So you were driven then, really. Did you have any lessons though? Because I've just seen you perform, and
yeah,
we'll come on to that. But I mean, you just
I couldn't afford the lessons in school because they were too expensive.
No, but...
So there was a kid in my town who was like 14, 15, who I had lessons with for a year.
So I play guitar. Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I do now.
You do now. You didn't then?
No, probably the first 5-6 years I didn't. I was just learning songs from tablature or listening, and
so
from this
just sheer hard work.
Yeah.
And driven by your sisters.
Yeah, and I used to sit with her and practice next to her, and
right.
She likes music. She loves music.
Fantastic, yeah. And I know that you work in a place where you do that now. You've made it your life apart from performing out.
I perform. Before COVID, I was going into a lot of elderly care homes as well, doing like war songs, which is the same phenomenon, like just music as medicine. And yeah, I work at a SEN school. I work in the nursery now, and I use music a lot.
I'd never seen Limp Bizkit and Vera Lynn linked via Gypsy Jazz. So a lot, in fact, you do a whole patina of stuff, but I mean, there is a root to it of you've learnt to play a lot of Gypsy Jazz, and this is incredible, including two fingers.
Yeah, that took a lot of practice. Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a long story. I was into Spanish guitar first, and I did a degree, and I studied classical guitar and Spanish guitar.
Learned to do all that.
Yeah, that's another story. That's I've got to mention him. My friend Pete Hornsey, who was a classical guitarist, but then he had multiple sclerosis by the time I met him, and he couldn't play anymore. But he wanted to hear that music again, so he taught me how to read sheet music, and that's how I learned Spanish guitar, through him in his wheelchair, sitting around his kitchen table. He taught me how to read. We learned the Spanish music together. I fell in love with it. Went to university, studied it. Within a year of discovering it, I got my grade 8 and went to university. And then after university, got really into busking. And from busking is how I discovered Gypsy Jazz when I was in Wales.
And there's a huge fusion in what you do.
Yeah.
Spanish, Italian, French.
Yeah.
Creole, probably. I didn't hear that, but there's probably loads of stuff in there. And Bavarian.
Yeah.
And Bulgarian. And
there was Bulgarian tonight, and lots of other things. I mean, like a lot. It's all music, and I think it's something that we all share. There's so many cliches you can say, but it really is a universal language.
And your poem really spells that out, doesn't it? Which I may include if you'll let me.
I can send you the text for it. That's fine.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What are you doing at the moment, and what are you doing next?
Well, yeah, it's funny. So I got into music originally, like I said, from getting that guitar, and then mainly from music therapy, watching my sister have it. And then when I was a teenager, I used to volunteer with the music therapist, and I sort of learned what was going on there. So that was always my dream. Then a couple of years ago, I went to become a music therapist, and when I got through to the final interview, realised that's not actually what I want to do. I didn't really like the way they were describing it. I think music's the phenomena, and actually I'm doing it already. I go to different venues, endless different situations, using music, to communicate with people and express emotions that can't really be expressed that well with words, but can be expressed through an abstract medium like instrumental music. So that was my life goal, was to become a music therapist, and then I realised actually that's not what I want to do, and now I'm just open.
And you do such a range of things, including weddings, which I could never tolerate.
Yeah,
Which
I do
is-
about 30, 40 weddings a year.
Yeah, not because I don't like weddings, but
Yeah.
because I don't want to play set pieces. Was that what turned you off from music therapy? They had a set piece for what you had to do, or
No, I mean,
no, it wasn't that.
I was told I was a problematic student because I had so much experience.
Oh dear, never
And
mind.
I didn't like it.
The triumph of experience.
Well,
Thank you so much, Tom. It's been an absolute pleasure.
cool, thank you.